Hello and welcome. As we are nearing the year end, here is wishing you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The color of the day is red and the feeling of the evening is happy. This was a magnificent year where people took charge of their creative lives and made new stuff, surprised you and I, and changed the palette of the Indian entertainment scene. Here is a loaded show. I'm Atika Farooqui. Let's begin with the highlights. Circus is the very familiar world of Rohit Shetty with the world of much heard jokes, bright colors with the new entrant of a duplicate story. We give you a list of 10 entertainment pieces that truly defined the year 2022. What is it that the actresses of Hindi cinema want in the new year? And is catfight the word no longer exists in the world of female camaraderie? And composer Achint Thakkar talks about composing music for Rajkumar Rao and Huma Quereshi starrer Monica Oh My Darling. Let's talk about this week's theatrical release, Circus. Circus is almost like a prequel to Rohit Shetty's Golmaal Again, which released in 2017 and was centered on an orphanage. Having separated two sets of identical male twins in the cradle, the doctor, played by Murali Sharma, keeps following their lives to assess the results of his experiment. The boys grow up to be Roy, that's Ranveer Singh, a circus owner in Ooty, and Joy, played by Varun Sharma. The other pair, also called Roy and Joy, are raised in Bengaluru. A psychic connection exists between the two. Ranveer's, the circus performer, has the ability to handle live electricity without getting affected. Whenever the current flows through Roy, though, the other Roy in Bengaluru shakes uncontrollably, creating hysterical and funny scenes of physical comic value. Modelled on Ram or Sham narrative, one is brave, the other is Sida. They have their partners or wives with whom the tracks are mostly superficial. The biggest problem with Circus isn't just familiarity with the Golmaal world. The glitch is the monotone story, with not much work done at the scripting level or the plot and story developments needed for a Ram or Sham kind of a narrative. The highlights are the childlike jokes picturized on Sanjay Mishra and the often childish comedy that appeals more to children sitting in the audience than the grown-ups. Ranveer delivers well in the ambit given to him to perform, and the overall music was peppy and light. The climax is where the story turns into a drama, but rest all of it is mostly comedy. I fear it's more palatable for children for its situational humor than it would appeal to grown-ups. Let's talk about the best released in 2022. This year was a phenomenal year. We were mesmerized by the quality scripts and out-of-the-box narratives. The performances were outstanding in all genres, and the admiration for the people who are doing great work is clearly visible in people's eyes. I loved series like Tabbar, Rocket Boys, Gullak, Fadu, Panchayat, and films like Gangubai, Drishyam 2, Rocketry, Chund, Darlings, Bhediya. The list is long, but for the paucity of the airtime that we have, let me give you a couple of must-watches for you from this year. Bhediya is a comedy horror film directed by Amar Kaushik. Varun Dhawan in the role of Bhediya, supported by Abhishek Banerjee, Deepak Deopriyal and Kriti Sanon in the lead roles, is a third installment in Dinesh Vijan's horror comedy universe and explored an important debate on environment conservation, wrapped beautifully in popular entertainment. With the VFX clearly not seen in Hindi cinema before, Bhediya was a good mix of entertainment and a voice of conscience. Jhund, providing a level playing field to invisible India. Director Nagraj Manjule's Jhund takes us beyond the wall of social divide to a ghetto where life is a struggle for survival. Inspired by the story of a real-life football coach, Vijay Barse, who uplifted slum children through football and launched the concept of slum soccer, Nagraj has used his lived Dalit experience to make a sensitive statement on the need to bridge the social fault lines. With a restrained performance by Mr. Bachchan, the film is a must-watch for all. Darlings is a dark comedy film co-written and directed by Jasmeet Kaureen in her directorial debut from a screenplay by Parvez Sheikh. Exploring the life of living with a narcissist, it was outstandingly performed by Alia Bhatt, Shefali Shah, Vijay Verma and Roshan Mathew in the lead roles. A class in psychology itself, it follows the characters trapped in their circumstances and thus developing coping mechanisms. Teamed with a pinch of salt, this one is surely the most unconventional Hindi movie of 2022. Drishyam 2 is a crime thriller film directed by Abhishek Pathak and based on the 2021 Malayalam film of the same name. A sequel to the 2015 film Drishyam, which in turn was adapted from the 2013 eponymous Malayalam film, is a riveting story. Supported by mature performances by Ajay Devgan, Tabu, Akshay Khanna, Shriya Saran and Nishita Datta, this is a universe that is familiar and instantly draws you in every time. On the script, it is written so well by Jeethu Joseph that no one can spoil it by any weak input from his side. It's one of the finest worlds in cinema created in the recent years. Gangubai Kathiawadi. Gangubai, the hard-hitting story of a sex worker who rises through the ranks of 60s gangland Mumbai, is powered by a magnetic performance from Alia Bhatt. Sex worker turned madam turned advocate and campaigner Gangu, played by Alia Bhatt, was hard-hitting stuff. Alia is magnetic and all too rare female anti-hero tearing through the film. This is certainly one of the best films and one of the must-watches in case you haven't till now. Here is my list of 5 beautiful web series that had released in the year 2022. Let's start with Rocket Boys. Debutant writer-director Abhay Pannu fills a yawning gap in popular culture by documenting the achievements of the scientific community in launching India's atomic and space programs into the orbit based on the life of Homi Jahangir Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai with references of APJ Abdul Kalam. The series pragmatically debates patriotism, pacifism and the perils of the arms race. Well researched, the scale matched the weight of the people whose story it was telling. Very important to remind yourself to develop a scientific temper towards life too. Good luck, a squabbling but loving family, middle-class constraints and quirks and joy of living in the small town instantly draws you very gently into this home and the world of a small town family, dealing with the vagaries of life and immediately induces empathy. Mishra clan is so lovable that you would want to watch all the 3 episodes, and believe me, many people have been raving about Good Luck this year from all classes and all walks of life. Fadu, don't go by the name. Directed by Ashwani Iyer Tiwari and written by Soumya Joshi, Fadu is based on the journey of a man rising from poverty to lead an extraordinary life, while tackling many questions that life throws at him. The show stars Pavel Gulati and Sayami Kher. The 11-episode series is the unhurriedly told story of 2 young people raised in vastly different environments. Soumya Joshi's lyrical script draws you in a gentle visual landscape that is very beautifully captured by Navagat Prakash, with a few exceptional performances in the foreground. It's a slow burn. The poetic quality of the dialogues and the lazy pace of the rags to riches story makes you see the philosophical aspect behind unsavory ambitions. Panchayat, a comedy drama which captures the journey of an engineering graduate, Abhishek, who for lack of a better job option joins as a secretary of a Panchayat office in a remote village of Uttar Pradesh. Apart from delivering the laughs, the show challenges you to think, introspect and by the end, hold back your tears too. Solid performances by Jitendra and Neena Gupta and crisp writing makes this an unforgettable watch in all the 3 seasons. Ye Kali Kali Aankhein, aggressively pursued by a politician's daughter who will do anything to marry a man, a small town man takes drastic measures to reclaim his life. It brings the idea of a femme fatale to a small UP town, surrounded by the politics and violence of the hinterland. Ye Kali Kali Aankhein follows the protagonist Vikrant, played by Tahir Raj Bhasin, an engineering graduate who desperately wants to leave his hometown. But he finds himself to be the unwanted object of attention and desire of the town's gangster politician's daughter. Purva, played by Achint Singh. Dot show, headlined by good performances, is one of the finer watches of 2022. Let's move on to a beautiful conversation between the best actresses of 2022. We all sit together on a round table and discuss several things. One of them is pay parity. As we begin a new year ahead, are we still there or no? Also, what about this much abused word called catfight, which totally disturbs and shamelessly spoils the beautiful camaraderie that the female actresses of the Hindi film industry have? This and a lot more in this beautiful conversation. You know, there was a time when, as everybody sat on the table, the first word that you mentioned was, let's have a cat fight, in a lighter note, right? And in the 90s, all these publications would, you know, that would be a major portion of their publicity or film content around cinema. Now we are, thank God, over that. As women in the industry, as female actors in the industry, what's the situation now? Is there a camaraderie? Is there harmony? Is there enough work for all women? Or we're still a few inches away from that state?
You know, I think a big change lies in the fact that we are no longer just playing appendages to the men.
Yes. Yes.
So I think we all are playing women who have identities of their own. And you know, we are kind of headlining films, we're in a way ruling the roost.
Yeah.
So I think we're very comfortable. There is competition, undoubtedly. It's not like I don't know what another actor's film does at the box office. Of course, now box office is, it's you know, at the moment not doing so well, but generally, but I'm saying all that's healthy competition.
I personally get along more with women. You know, I feel like they're easier to work with.
Yeah, me too.
And far less complicated and easier to talk to. You know, you can just have a conversation and be like, okay, you know, this is not working or working. I've had a lot of fun. In fact, I just worked with Sonakshi. I just worked with Mrunal on a film that's going to come out. We had an absolute blast. I'm sure. You know, it's just so much fun. It's so much easy. Even work with female directors. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
हम लोग बहुत सालों से बात कर रहे हैं pay parity की. I also kind of try and get this topic back into the conversation and discussion. And the longer we continue with the discussion, the shorter time it would take for us to reach there. What's your take on pay parity? Where are we right now? Where would you like to go?
मैंने तो शुरुआत किया है अभी.
हाँ.
I'm really happy with what I'm getting paid.
Okay.
Whenever there is a conversation, I just tell them that, you know, if this is what I deserve, please give me. I'll put my heart and soul. I'll do one film at a time. I'll make sure that I give my best. But I've just started my career, so I don't think about, for me, at this point of time, what is important is to get a good film.
You know, I don't know about pay parity because I'm not doing films alongside the big heroes. I think that's where it comes into play. But if you had to see the overall percentage of what I get paid, you know, within the budget of a film to what a hero gets paid, I think the percentage is the same. Now, their films cost 10 times what my films do. So obviously, I'm getting paid 10 times less. But within my construct, I'm happy.
What is it that you're still waiting for and is still eluding you? Anything. It might be a role or it might be an experience. It might be anything. तिश्नगी किस चीज की तिश्नगी रह गई है अभी भी?
तिश्नगी.
किस चीज की तिश्नगी रह गई है जिंदगी?
Tishnagi. Yeah. Adab.
I learned 2 words. Irshad. Tishnagi.
Arshad. Pagal. Arshad.
Acha, Arshad. And Tishnagi. Am I saying it right?
I always learn, I have to say this, I always learn something from Atika after my interview with her because she speaks so beautifully.
Well, but do you remember it after?
Tishnagi I will.
So, किस चीज की
She's ready.
अभी भी रह गई है? Tell me.
I really want to do films for kids.
Oh.
For children, fantasy. Because I feel like they're losing their innocence at a really early age. They've been dancing to all sorts of songs.
Yeah, and watching violence on screen.
Violence on screen. And the funny thing is, their parents are encouraging them to do so.
I just want to be surprised. I want something to blow my mind, and I want to do something that I haven't imagined myself doing.
I think एक wish है कि कभी ना curiosity और enthusiasm ना जाए, and कभी ऐसा ना लगे कि कि अब मैं बोर हो रही हूँ या अब मुझे मज़ा नहीं आ रहा, वो मज़ा ना जाए लाइफ से बस.
Huma, what is your
अब इतनी सारी लगी हुई है मेरा है कि बस अच्छा ऊपर वाला काम चलाता रहे, माल वाल मिलता रहे.
थोड़ा no don't say माल please, say
मतलब पैसा.
क्यों इसमें भी कुछ intention?
अरे actors माल बोलते हैं तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है.
तशनगी निकल जाएगी वहाँ पे कुछ. अच्छा काम, अच्छा पैसा, इज्जत, शोहरत, सेहत, बस यही छोटी सी हमारी आरजुएं हैं. सुकून, शुक्र में जियो और सब्र रखो. नहीं but yeah, just to have fun, just have fun, play different characters.
I thought next you'll say sex का कुछ.
That is off camera, but now that you said it, I don't mind.
That was just an excerpt, just a tip of the iceberg. You can watch the entire episode of the Actresses Roundtable that airs on CNN News 18 next weekend, the New Year's weekend, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. on CNN News 18 as well as Colors Cineplex. Now, time for a short break on the show. When we come back, we have Achint Thakkar, the man behind the quirky soundtrack of Monica, Oh My Darling. That's coming up after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Achint Thakkar, who composed the music for the recently released Netflix movie Monica, Oh My Darling, says he paid tribute to the era of 70s and the music of Bappi Lahiri in this interview with my colleague Vishal Chatkara.
Ajin, first, congratulations for the success of your film Monica, Oh My Darling.
Thank you.
Your music can easily be called the soul of Monica, Oh My Darling. It plays a very important role in the film. It's a dark comedy, an edge of the seat thriller, a whodunit. What was your approach when you started work on the film's music?
Vasan, the director of the film, had a certain vision that he wanted to do a couple of songs, at least one song that he wanted to do in a retro sort of as an homage way. And then he said, basically, the rest of the music can be whatever you want. So I thought, maybe this is just going to be like one song is going to be retro and everything else is going to be quite modern, because the film is not a period film. As we did the first song, I sent him not Ye Zindagi. We didn't do that. I sent him something else, which was very contemporary with certain retro elements. So he said, this sounds like a hit. I don't want a hit. I want to do it exactly like I want to do it more old way, Dantra Mukhra, and sit down and do the melodies like that. So that's when Ye Zindagi came out.
How you ensured that a song will, although remind viewers of such classic as Jawani Janeman or Piya Tu Ab Tu Aaja, but yet it's different, it's new.
We were being inspired by the spirit of it rather than, it should not feel like a mimicry. It should feel more like a tribute, not a spoof.
Like the film's wacky character, even the songs are equally fun. I really love the song, I Love You So Much, I Want to Kill You. The song has this Konkani / Portuguese music vibe to it. We can clearly see the shift from instrumental to going electric in some of the songs, which is also your comfort zone, if I'm not wrong, electronic music. How you balance your personal style with the film theme?
So I would say the whole album is quite electric because the 70s were quite an electric time. That's when the whole transition from 60s, and then when Panchamda came in, he sort of jazzed it up. There was a lot of cool stuff. 70s, a lot of experimentation was happening. Whether it's Usha Uthup or, people like even L. Shankar, if you know, he had an electric violin. And so we just wanted to keep that spirit of, make it feel, old, but still energy.
You are the man behind the iconic theme song of Scam 1992. What is the most intense phase of the music making process? Is it the beginning or the end?
It's the beginning. It's the beginning and the end. The middle is a lot of fun. The beginning, because when you're looking at a blank page, it's quite daunting sometimes. And the end is when you want, you sort of have to let it go. It's like a takeoff and a landing. Yeah.
Both are equally important.
You both are equally important.
It is said somehow a good score can save a bad performance. But has it ever happened where after watching a great performance, you decided to change or tweak the music, or you got influenced by visuals?
All the time. The performances really influence what the score does. I think in many, especially when you have actors that really know their craft very well, they speak a lot with their face. That gives you a lot of feedback for your cues. And that can be very inspiring, whether it was with Pratik Gandhi or Jim Sarb or Rajkumar here. A lot of cues you get just from people's faces.
And with that, we have come to the end of this week's episode of Now Showing. We see you in the new year with a lot of new stuff. A brand new world full of aspirations, dreams, the conviction to do something new, and the power to say yes and the power to say no. Frank Herbert had said, there is no real ending. It's just a place where you stop the story. And at any given moment, you have the power to say, this is not how my story will end. So here is to new beginnings, to 2023. I see you soon, very soon, actually next week. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.